भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम गं गणपतये नमः। ओम सं सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम गुं गुरुभ्यो नमः। कोसलो नाम मुदितः स्फीतो जनपदो महान् निविष्ट सरयू तीरे प्रभूत धन धान्यवान् अयोध्या नाम नगरी तत्रासी लोकविश्रुता मनुना मानवेन्द्रेण या पुरी निर्मिता स्वयं। Hari Om. Today's talk is special on Chinmaya Surya channel. It is special because world over, the whole world is participating in rejoicing and celebrating the birth of Ram Lalla at Sri Ayodhya Dham. So today's talk is basically the glory of Ram. Yes, nothing can conclude without the glory of Sri Ram, who is none other than Sakshat Bhagavan Sriman Narayana, who was born in this world to live as a human being, to walk on this world as a human being, to uphold the path of dharma, to go through all the trials and tribulations that any human being faces and win without cutting corners, without corruption, without lying or without deceit. And how that victory is possible, Sri Ram has shown. But today's talk is about this beautiful city of Ayodhya, which was blessed with the birth of Sri Ram. If a great god, if a devata has to be born in this world, the devata chooses before even coming, where is the place I want to be born, who are the parents I want to be born, and the place that Sri Ram chose for his avatar was Ayodhya. Ayodhya is also called a Mokshapuri. Mokshapuri means a place of happiness. Ayodhya, Avantika, Kashi, so many places are there which are called Mokshapuri. The place itself grants you happiness at all times. When you go to Haridwar, it is so beautiful to walk on the streets of Haridwar. The people selling rabdi, the Ganga Aarti, the river there. It may not be very beautiful to look at, but there is a sense of happiness when you walk through the streets of Haridwar, through the streets of Rishikesh, through the streets of Brindavan, through the streets of Kashi, through the streets of Kanchi. All these places are very, very beautiful to just walk through, and they give joy. And Ayodhya was one such place. It was one such place, and it went through many trials and tribulations. Even during the time of Bhagwan Sri Rama, there is a beautiful description by Bharata when he returns, when Dasharatha is no more and Sri Rama has gone to the forest. Bharata is coming to Ayodhya, and whatever he is describing, it tells us how beautiful Ayodhya was. Where are those beautiful flowers? Where are those beautiful sounds of birds? Where are all those bright and shining people who are bedecked with jewels and walking about here and there in the city? Why are all the roads looking so dull? Why are all the temples without any prayers and without any flowers? Where are all those flower vendors? Where are they gone? This is what Bharata laments. And this only shows how beautiful Ayodhya was. Now, we come to the actual description of the beauty of Ayodhya in Sri Valmiki Ramayana. In the fourth canto of Balakanda, these beautiful two cherubic children of Bhagavan Sri Rama, Lava and Kusha, who are being trained by the Rishi to chant this Ramayana. Lava and Kusha, very beautifully they are chanting that, they're chanting of Ramayana in so much of musical notes, in all the swaras, in the Nagari style, with the veena and the tantri vadana. It is just bringing tears in the eyes of all the rishis and the munis who are listening to the story of Rama, just as tears well up in the eyes of the great Mahatmas today to see the glory of the Ayodhya Dham established after 500 years of struggle. This is the second struggle that we have seen in recent history. Rama's ancestor is Sri Azhagiya Manavalan Ranganatha Swami of Srirangam, and this Ranganatha Swami Srirangam was a struggle for 48 years, 1,000 years ago, where so many people lost their lives. So many people lived only to protect this Ranganatha. The story is being told in a historical novel by Sri Venugopalan. It is called Thiruvarangam Ula. It is a very beautiful story. It is actually a history textbook of how great was the struggle prior to this Rama, the struggle of Rama at Ayodhya, the Rama Lalla, is this story of Azhagiya Manavalan of Srirangam temple, how he was a Purvaja of Rama. All great Mahatmas have gone there to Srirangam. Narada says in the Padma Purana, Harikshetram Kurukshetram Srirangam Rangamandiram Sriranga Sai Bhagavan. So many places it's been mentioned. It is a Purvaja of Sri Rama, and in that temple, the kind of assaults and common people who wielded bows and arrows, not bows and arrows, who wielded sticks and canes, how they fought and how they were defeated and how they escaped. Just 60 people gave the slip for many of these Mughal invaders who were trying to catch that Ranganatha's idol. And why they wanted the idol? They thought that if you break open the idol, there will be gems and jewels inside. That was their narrow-minded perspective. They didn't know that the idol was very precious, not because it is a precious metal or there are precious gems inside. It is precious because it is precious in the hearts of people. And so these people escaped. I did not want to talk about Srirangam today, but I think Bhagavan Sri Rama is paying his obeisance to his ancestors through this recounting of the story and recounting of victory of how that idol which went from Srirangam, it went to many places. It went to Madurai, it went to Kollam in Kerala. Why it is called God's own country? In that Kollam was a place where all the gods of Tamil Nadu, including Madurai Meenakshi, all the gods from Tamil Nadu, the whole line up to Kanyakumari, for the sake of protection, Kollam was a place where all the gods were camped. It was a divine camp of all the deities. And there was our Sriranga Bhagavan. And from there he was taken to Melkote. And from Melkote to Tirupati. Maybe the route is not, I'm not able to remember the route exactly. From Melkote to Tirupati, Tirupati to Jinchi, then to Madurai. From somewhere it was, the idol was taken away by Bibi, the Sultan's Bibi in Delhi. She fell in love with that idol and she wanted to play with that idol for her worship. And then the people who loved that idol went and played and did many dance performances before the Sultan in Delhi. And he asked, your dance performance was very beautiful. What can I give you in return? We just want our Azhagiya Manavalan idol, that is the Ranganatha's Uchava Murti. We just want the idol, they said. And the Sultan gave it to them. And they just ran. Bibi Nachiyar, she got up. She's called Bibi Nachiyar because in Srirangam there is a Sannadhi for her and chapati is a Naivedyam. They hold that in respect because of her love for that Bhagwan. And when she woke up, she found that the idol is missing and she came in search. They escaped in a different route. She went all the way to Srirangam and she left her life there in search for that Bhagwan, Murti. And then this, only out of the 60 people, only 3 people remained. And out of that one person who was almost mad in love with Bhagwan, he did not know anything else except protecting that idol. He was hugging the idol close to him. These are the stories narrated in that Tiruvarangal Ula. And he told his other 2 people to push him down from the Anjanadri hill in Tirupati because it had a slope where the invaders, people could not come and search for them. So he tied the idol to his stomach and they asked him to push, and he just fell down, rolling from that mountain. And then he went to the bushes. There was this Bhagwan Sri Ranganatha. He was hiding behind the bushes, and there he was taking care of him by providing the Naivedyam. So wherever the idol was, that is the secret of today's Ayodhya also. Wherever the Murti may be, it might be under a bush, it might be in a tent, it might be in a refugee camp, taking care of the Murti daily, providing the Abhishekam and the food daily. The Murti keeps growing and the Murti takes care of itself. The Murti takes care of all the people who take care of the Murti. The Murti protects the whole country, that helps and works to save the Murti. And so finally, the idol was discovered after many, many years by people who, all these people who were living to save the idol, all of them left their life. There was only one man, and there was a Dasi who was coming that way, and she remembered that it was her chain that was on Sri Ranganatha, and she was coming searching, and she wanted to give up her life because everywhere she is under so much of danger, and she just wanted to give up her life. And when she, as she was thinking of committing suicide, she spotted that beautiful golden chain from behind the bushes, and she discovered it, and she took it and called the people to take care of the idol. And finally, how it was resurrected, and how from Samayapuram the Muslim rulers were defeated with revenge. So many people left their lives in that process. They were defeated, and then the idol was brought in a great procession from the western end of the Srirangam temple and installed in the Ranganatha shrine. So this was the history of the ancestor of Sri Rama. Now we talk, that is why Srirangam today is a revered place called Bhuloka Vaikuntham, or Vaikuntham is where Manaha na Vikuntati, where my mind, if there is a place which I enter and my mind becomes stable, it can be your home, it can be your puja room, it can be your office room, it can be your ashram, it can be the temple, it can be anywhere in this world, any place in this world. If you enter that place and your mind becomes quiet, that place is Vaikuntham. And this Srirangam was a Bhuloka Vaikuntham where our Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently visited before he is going in for the consecration process today at Ayodhya. Coming to the glory of Ayodhya. So now history repeats history repeats itself until we learn the lessons of history. And what is the lessons of history? We have to revere the deity. Who is the deity first of all? We have to understand who is that Bhagavan we are worshipping. We have our ancestors in our homes. Our father, mother, grandfather, grandmother on both sides, and their grandparents, and all the associated people in the family who have lived before us, who have given birth to this body, and who are no more with us. They are called Pitrus. They are also in the form of gods. And when we are very devoted families, we worship our Pitrus. We worship our ancestors. It is a very important form of worship. So we may have forgotten all that. We don't know what to do. The next level of ancestry in this world is the kings who rule the kingdom. When kings who rule the kingdom, they pass on the mantle to the next, and they move on, they die, they may even be reborn many times, quietly again and again, and they move on. Every time the rebirth happens only in the next 3 generations. Vasu, Rudra, Aditya. Vasu, Rudra, Aditya. In the same way for the kings, the 3 generations may be reborn again and again. And when that particular king, when he moves into the Aditya state, later on, they become gods because they are so pure, their hearts are so pure, there is nothing else but love and blessings in them, that they don't have any impurities in them to be reborn on earth. And those are the people we revere as Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, and all the kings. Sri Bharat. Bharat means the Bharata of Mahabharata, from whom we get this name Bharata. They are the great kings whom we revere. And this Sri Rama was one such king, and he lived in this land of Ayodhya. How the story begins in Balakanda, I am here to talk about the beauty of Ayodhya today. In Balakanda, both these 2 little children of Sri Rama are coming. Just imagine how beautiful the scene would be. Lava and Kusha with their beautiful matted hair. They're coming from the Rishi's ashram, matted hair and a top knot, and they are wearing the Janeyu. They've got a tanpura in their hand, and they are singing like how our the street singers, the street bards come singing on the road Bhagavan's name. They are singing, and Maharshi Valmiki says, Ratyasu Rajamargeshu Dadarsha Bharatagrajaha Svaveshmachaniya Tataha Bhrataraucha Kushi Sakushi Lavau Ratyasu, where many chariots are going, Rajamargeshu. Not Rajamargas are not the modern day macadamized roads alone. We had great it is called Rajabhata in Tamil, Rajabhata, or the Rajpath, Rajamargeshu, on the royal road. Dadarsha Bharata Agrajaha. Bharata's brother Rama saw Dadarsha. Svaveshma cha aniya. He says, come near to my palace. He sends Bharata, Tataha, Bhratarausa Kushilavav. They came to the palace. So this is just to show that Ayodhya had beautiful palaces and great royal paths or Rajpath or Rajmarg. And in this 5th chapter, Panchama Sargaha of Balakanda in Valmiki Ramayana, the beautiful description of Ayodhya is found in a few verses. It's a very small chapter, and the whole chapter is about the description of Ayodhya. Sarva Purayamiyam Sarva Purvamiyam Yesham Asit Kritsna Vasundharam Prajapatim Upadaya Nripanam Jayashalinam Sarvam Purvam Iyam Yesham. In all these places in this whole world, Yesham Asit Kritsna Vasundhara. In this whole world, which is surrounded by all the rivers and the mountains, this earth, Prajapatim Upadaya, beginning from Prajapati, Nripanam Jayashalinam. There were many great kings like Vaivasvata Manu, who was the first created being, and all the great kings. Nripa. The word Nripa is very interesting. The word Nripa means Nrinam Palayati iti Nripaha. The one who protects people is called Nripa. And journalists in Tamil Nadu are also called Nirupar. I do not know if they have the same name for journalists in Hindi and other languages, but the name in Tamil for journalists is called Nirupar or Patrakar. Nirupar is from the word Nripar. Nripar means king. King is not one who rules. King is not one who chastises. King who knows, not one who punishes. King is one who protects. Nripa. Nripanam Jayashalinam. Were they weak kings? No, they were very powerful kings, full of power. Esham sagaro nama sagaro yena khanitaha shashtiputra sahasrani yam yantam pariyavarayan. We take it for granted that there are 7 oceans in the girdling this whole earth, and we think that God created these oceans. No, it was these kings whose seva was to dig the earth to harvest water, and these oceans are there as a rainwater harvesting mechanism. Depending on the quality of the soil, the oceans are salty in nature. Otherwise, the river waters are pure, rainwater is pure. Sagara is a king who, why the oceans in the world are called Sagara. They are named after Sagara. Sagara was a king who carved out the oceans, who dug out the oceans. And how many children did he have? He had 60,000 sons, and they dug oceans. Sagaro yena khanitaha. It is time that the truth of the Ramayana is respected as an itihasa anymore. Itihasa means a book of history. When history is narrated, we don't question them. How can it be true? This is history and it is not mythology. Let us be very clear. If we don't know how these kings carved out oceans, we have to enter into research and find out how oceans were formed. Instead of questioning the Puranas and Itihasas, Maharshi Valmiki was no joker who had to write some gobbledygook stories and for his own publicity, name and fame. He was a great bhakta of Sri Rama. He did tapasya with the name Rama 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 Ram. He did tapasya with this nama for so many thousands of years that an anthill was formed around him. We don't know history. He has come to Tiruvanmiyur in Chennai, Tiruvalmiki Ur. There is a temple for Lavakusha in this place called Coimbatore, which houses our big bus stand in Chennai. And there is a temple, which a Coimbatore is coming from, the name is coming from Lava and Kusha. The historic details are coming up, people are bringing about this. And so this Tiruvalmikiyur is coming from Tiruvanmiyur, where an ant hill was formed. And there is a temple for Valmiki Maharishi on East Coast Road. It is a very beautiful temple in the middle of, today we are celebrating Maharishi Valmiki Airport. Chennai has reason to celebrate Maharishi Valmiki, the beautiful temple in the middle of ECR, in the beginning of ECR, a temple which they were even thinking of relocating to construct this ECR. Such is the glory of our history. And in this course, in this city called Ayodhya, Esham tu Sagaro Nama Sagaro Yena Khanitaha. The Sagara had 60,000 sons, and he dug out the oceans. Wherever he went for conquest, his 60,000 sons would follow him. Ikshvakunamidam tesham rajñam vamshe mahatmanam mahadutpannamakhyanam Ramayanamiti shrutam. This is the story of Ramayana of the kings of the Ikshvaku dynasty, beginning with the sun. And this is very beautiful for me to talk about this in this holy Brahma Muhurta in the morning of Chandrahora on the beginning of this Kumbhabhishekam, where the temple at Chinmaya Surya is dedicated to Ram's Purvaja Surya Bhagavan, beginning with whom comes the Ikshvaku dynasty. Tesham Rajñam Vamshe Mahatmanam Mahadutpannam Akhyanam. The great story of Sri Rama, born in the Ikshvaku Vamsha, is the story of Ramayanam. Ramasya Ayanam. There is a vyutpatti of Ramayanam. There is a dhatu in there is a rule in Sanskrit. It is called Ruturashana. Ramasya Ayanam is actual the split, but it becomes Ramayanam because the word Repa is there, and so the Na will turn into Na. That is why it's called Krishna. Krishna, because the Repa is there and the Na becomes Na. In the same way, because the Repa, that is how the word R is pronounced in Sanskrit, that is contained in Rama. Because the word Rama is there, Ayana becomes Ayanam. Rama Yanam. Tadidam vartayishyavah sarvam nikhilamaditah dharma kamartha sahitam shrotavyam anasuyatam. How should we listen to the story of Ramayana? How should we listen to the glory of Ayodhya? Anasuyata. Don't have any cavilling in your heart. Don't have silly doubts. Now those doubts have become silly. All that we asked about Bhagavan Sri Rama, all that we made fun of about Bharatavarsha, the glory of Bharat, and all the gods in Bharat, and all the places of worship, all the devotees of the gods, whatever fun we made of, it is all coming out of Asuya. Asuya means jealousy. Jealousy means I don't have something, somebody has got something. What is it something I don't have? I don't experience happiness, somebody else is happy. Because of that, I have jealousy or asuya. I am having that jealousy because there is ignorance. I don't know who I am. If I know who I am, I will be eternally happy. There will be no shortage of happiness. I don't need to depend on others for happiness. So I don't know who I am. That is the reason why I am unhappy, and I see somebody else who is happy and I feel jealous of that person. Because I feel jealous of that person, whatever that person says, I keep arguing, I keep fighting, I am irritated, I am worried, I am depressed, why I am like this and that person is like that, and there is no end. We can rant on YouTube, we can rant on Facebook, we can rant on Twitter, we can rant on political platforms, we can rant in our local parties and pubs and meetings, we can rant in our classroom, we can rant in our courtrooms, everywhere we can go on ranting, but it is all because of asuya. So, to listen to the story itself, remove that asuya from your heart, at least for today, only for today. When the Prana Pratishtapana is happening, let us all join the world in celebration. Either you join us or you get left out as a situation today. So, tadidam asuya. Without any asuya, listen to the story which talks about dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is the rules of life. Dharma is the way by which I take responsibility for my life, follow those rules, and live a very happy life. Artha, seeking wealth, seeking knowledge, seeking things, seeking good relationships, seeking beauty around me, seeking there's so many beautiful things around this in this world. Artha, mainly money. Kama, fulfilling my dharmic or very good desires, meaning we should have the right kind of desires. When adharma means why these problems of 500 years or the 1,000 years that we talk about of the invasions are happening on account of adharma. What is adharma? A lack of knowledge of rules, a lack of abidance in the rules, a lack of abidance in our sense of duty, our lack of abidance in our sense of protection of natural resources, of people, of the weaker ones, our lack of abidance in the sense of responsibility that we have in nurturing and nourishing ourselves, our family, our surroundings, our country, and our nation. All these things will come under the category of adharma. When all these rise, then we will slip. When adharma rises, dharma will slip into adharma until some Yuga Purusha comes and lifts up that dharma and makes it stand. Common people, normal people who live their day-to-day life will not have the capacity to fight adharma. That is why it requires a Yuga Purusha like Bhagavan Sri Rama and Bhagavan Sri Krishna to lift up this dharma from adharma. Lift up rightness, goodness, gratitude, love, harmony, peace, knowledge, wisdom, basically sattva guna from the adharma of tamas. So in this beautiful story, the first description is about the city of Ayodhya. In all our oikos, O-I-K-O-S, poetics it's called, whether it is Tamil literature or Sanskrit literature or any other vernacular literature, all the great rishis and kavis, they give beautiful descriptions of the city that they are describing. Alakamiti vakyaiva vasatim vasu sampadam alakapuri. So many cities are being discussed. So many cities are being described. Ayodhya Mahatmyam. You have Srirangam Mahatmyam. You have Avantika Mahatmyam. The glory of all cities are described. Sure, this is the glory of Ayodhya. Ayodhya Mahatmya. Kosalo nama muditaha. Spito Janapado Mahan. There is a great principality, something like a state, something like a big territory, something like a prefecture in Japanese. Muditaha, very, very happy space it is. Spito Janapado Mahan. Extending, it is a Janapada, it's a big territory, great territory, big territory. Nivishta Sarayu Tire. On the banks of river Sarayu, that is what we are celebrating. That is a place we are celebrating today. Prabhuta Dhana Dhanyavana. There were very rich people with wealth of money and wealth of grains. How beautifully Ramayana describes what is the condition of prosperity we should have. Only having money or collecting money is not prosperity. If there is no grains, there is no food. And we are not a prosperous people, only we increase our bank account and we deplete our granaries. Prabhuta Dhana Dhanyavan. Ayodhya Nama Nagari Tatrasi Loka Vishruta. Ayodhya Nama Nagari. Yodhya Yodhum Na Shakya iti Ayodhya. What is Ayodhya? That space with which nobody can conquer. It is a place where it is a strong fortified fortress where nobody can enter and nobody can conquer, nobody can defeat. That is called Ayodhya. Actually, our heart space is called Ayodhya, where Shuddha Sattva Guna, no Rajas or Tamas can enter that heart space, which is full of love, which is full of harmony, which is full of calmness, which is full of wisdom of life. That is called Ayodhya. Ayodhya Nama Nagari. Nagari is a city called Ayodhya. Tatra Asit Loka Vishruta. There was a city in this place. It is very famous around the whole world. Manuna Manavendrena. Who built the city? Manavendra, the king of all kings. Of the king of all people, the first king called Manu, Yapuri Nirmita Swayam. He himself established the city called Ayodhya. King Manu established Vaivasvata Manu. This Manvantara is the rule of Vaivasvata Manu, the king who is the ruler of this whole Yuga of Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. This the ruler of these 4 yugas is called Vaivasvata Manu. He himself established this city of Ayodhya. Ayata dashacha dvecha yojanani mahapuri Srimati Trini Vistirna Suvibhakta Mahapatha. I cannot out of memory tell this the length and breadth in terms of miles. I will just tell the numbers. This city, Suvibhakta Mahapatha. We do not need to think that We have got macadamized roads today. Mahapatha, Suvibhakta, well organized, beautiful roads. We always appreciate the roads in countries abroad. Even in India, in many places where the French, especially in Puducherry, and I'm not aware of the other places, very beautiful roads are still there today. In those days, in Ayodhya, there were very beautiful roads. Wherever there is Dharma, definitely there will be beauty, divine harmony, and order in those places. Suvibhakta Mahapatha Shrimati Trini Vistirna. Sure, this is a description of 12 yojanas. One yojana is 8. One yojana is 8 kilometer. No, 8 miles is one yojana. So it forms 96 miles, 12 yojanas long, and 3 yojanas, 24 miles wide. This is the measurement of the whole territory of Ayodhya. 96 miles in length and 24 miles in breadth. It has, what does it have? Shrimati Trini Vistirna Suvibhakta Mahapatha. This 24 miles and Suvibhakta, very well arranged roads. Rajamargena Mahata Suvibhaktena Shobhitam Mukta Pushpavakirnena Jalasiktena Nityashaha. Today, people go abroad, there is brain drain because they say Bharata Desha, it is very unclean, it is very dirty, we don't want to live here. Even that situation is changing. Kashi is a beautiful city now, it is a clean city. Indore has come several times. First, Indore is called, the Sanskrit name for Indore is Indrapuri. Indore has come several times on the, for 7 times on the first city, which is very clean in this whole country. And then today you have Ayodhya, which is having such a festive and beautiful look. We have such beautiful cities. Rajamargena Mahata Suvibhaktena, the great wide roads, maybe you can say 8-way expressway highways, Rajamarga, Mahata Rajamarga, Suvibhaktena, very well organized. We do not know what kind of vehicles moved on those days, but definitely there were chariots. Suvibhaktena Shobhita. The roads were very beautiful. What was adding beauty to those roads? Mukta Pushpa Avakirnena. The beautiful flowers that have fallen from trees. Jalasiktena Nityashaha. So how were the roads maintained? Jalasikta. Water was sprinkled on the roads. Even I myself have seen in a very great ashram in Chennai, very big ashram, that Swami was going to come by car and the ashram was having mud roads only. It was having red mud roads in north of Chennai, near Tada. And all the devotees, because they wanted to receive that Swamiji, they sprinkled water all over that path where the car was going to come, because the mud will not rise. When they see what is the technology, they used of technology so beautifully, the mud will not rise when the vehicle is moving. That is the reason why they sprinkled mud, and it used to be so fragrant with the smell of water in mud. Nityashaha means daily. Even I myself have seen in the villages in Tamil Nadu, we are saying villages are very bad, these villages are very dirty and all that. When I was a small child, there is a village in Tirunelveli called Gopala Samudram, and I recall the beauty with which the sanitation was there in those villages. Nobody will throw garbage in the main village path between the houses. It used to be very clean, but even by mistake if something has fallen, every day morning, that is the time we used to, because people from city, we will just wake up late. But we used to sleep on the balcony area in front of the house. In front of that, it's called a payol. Such a big house of my grandmother. All our cousins used to sleep there in the front porch area with a table fan and all that. In the morning, we will hear the bullock carts coming and people with these long broomsticks. Very beautifully, they will gather all the mud and keep it in the center of the road, and another person will come, lift all the mud, put it in this cart, and the road will be so clean in the morning. In the same way, Shobhita, the road was very clean and it was very beautiful also. Mukta Pushpa Avakirnena Jalasiktena Nityashaha. Tam tu Raja Dasharatho Maharashtra Vivardhanaha. This Dasharatha was the Raja of this Ayodhya. And what was his role? Maharashtra Vivardhanaha. We should not understand it as a state of Maharashtra. Maharashtra means the great kingdom. His role, the role of the king, is to expand the kingdom, not by conquering, but by creating beauty, but by creating harmony, but by allowing people to do work together, their appointed tasks together, and live a very beautiful life, and create an expansion of good hearts in his whole kingdom, and annex other kingdoms with joy. That is how they used to annex in those days. It is not by wars. Wars will happen only when some kingdom is there's misrule. That is also a very good example for today. We don't allow those people to prosper. The role of kings was to go around in conquest. It is like the chowkidar that comes at night, who takes a whistle and walks through our streets at night. At 1 o'clock in the night, he's blowing the whistle. What is he doing? He's not enjoying whistle music at night. He is just warding away all the thieves and other people who can create mischief. In the same way, the king takes his chariot and goes again on the conquest, conducts Ashwamedha Yajnas, and then improves his power. And that is how the king becomes powerful. And when the king is dharmic and when he is powerful, then his word will have power. The power that went away all these 1,000 years is because slowly the decline in dharma, we did not do the tasks that we were destined to do. The kings did. The kings left their qualities of kshatrata. They embraced the qualities of sattvic qualities of ahimsa, and other people embraced the sattvic qualities, the tamasic qualities. The people who had sattvic qualities embraced tamasic qualities, and because of all the mixture of all these qualities, we lost the capacity. We lost the power. When we drop our qualities, our power will go away, and we will not be able to have the strength to protect. Now, when we develop those qualities, automatically the power comes back to us. This Dasharatha, Maharashtra Vivardhanaha, he was a king who was expanding his kingdom through love. And annexations used to happen through marriage. When two kingdoms, the prince and the princess of this kingdom and that kingdom, like how Nepal is now sending all holy waters, and the shilas for the murtis is coming from the Gandaki and the other rivers, Shalagrama shilas from Nepal. That's how Sita ji was given in marriage to Sri Rama, and because of that, two kingdoms of Nepal and India, this Ayodhya, they became one. Mithila, they became one. Purim avasayamasa divideva patiryatha. This Dasharatha lived in Ayodhya as if Indra was living in Svargaloka. Indra is the king of Svargaloka and he is ruling over Svargaloka. And this Dasharatha lived in Ayodhya as if he were Indra. And so this Ayodhya was a Svargapuri. It is also called Mokshapuri. When I finish it, I will finish it with Pujya Guruji's words on his spent his life chanting the Ramanama, doing Rama Upasana. Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomayananda ji. Recently his book Ramcharitmanas has been published in English and Hindi. So, Kapatatornavatim Suvibhaktantarapanam Sarvayantrayudhavatim Ushitam Sarvashilpibhim. Kapatatornavatim. Great arches were there in Ayodhya. Torana, hanging garlands, flower garlands were there. Suvibhakta Antara Apanam. There were many in those protected areas. There were apanas, there were shops which were well designed and well laid out. It is not only Mohenjo-daro and Harappa civilization. This is a civilization of 7,000 years before that's being described. Suvibhaktantara Apanam. Inside all those arches and all that fortress of the city, there were shops. Very beautiful, very well arranged shops. Sarvayantra Ayudha Vatim. This Ayodhya was not a weak city where everybody was only full of love and they were all eating curd rice and pongal and doing puja to Bhagavan and happily living their lives. It is a very, very, very powerful country. What did Ayodhya have? Sarva Yantra Ayudhavati. It had many, many machines. Yantras are different kinds of machines. Yantras are machines which contain some logic, which contain some code, which contain some program, and when you just press the button and switch on the program, that activity will happen. That is a yantra. It may be in form of a computer, it may be form of a washing machine, it can be in the form of a vehicle. We don't know in what form it was there, but machines were there. Sarva yantra, ayudha, many weapons were there. We talk about nuclear weapons, gathering nuclear weapons all around the world. What is happening? Ayodhya had weapons. Weapons are used for protection and not for destruction. Shatagni Shatasankulam. This Ayodhya had buildings with very high attics, very high roofs. Attic is called Machil in Tamil. I've seen them in the villages where I told in Gopalasundram, Palamadai, Papakudi, and many places which I've been lived there in those villages. It is called Machil. People will not be there, they will not live there. It will be a room where it will have wooden stairs, or sometimes stone steps also. You will climb and you will sit on top of it. There will be stores, things stored there, and will be there in those Machil rooms, attics. It had very high attics. And I think in Kambaramayanam, the description of Ayodhya is so beautiful in Kambaramayanam. It says the building was very tall, that the buildings were like mountains, and clouds used to go by. Clouds used to move past slowly, like how on mountain tops we see clouds. So here in Ramayana also it is said, Shatagnim Shatasankulam. There were many flags flying, fluttering all around, like today the very Ayodhya that we are seeing today. Flags fluttering all around. There were rockets in Ayodhya. Okay, if you don't want to believe that it is a rocket, you can say lengthy iron spikes which were there in Ayodhya. Vadhunataka Sanghaischa Samyuktam Sarvatah Purim Udyanamra Vanopetam Mahatim Salamekalam Vadhunataka Sanghaischa. On the streets of Ayodhya, on one side there was hardware of machines, of weapons, of big buildings, and on the other side the software of Ayodhya, Vadhu, Nataka Sangana, Sambada. Many beautiful women who were trained in the arts of drama, dance, and music. They were walking about on the streets of Ayodhya, happily singing and dancing. Shrimatim Atula Prabham. This Ayodhya, many women, beautiful women, celestial damsels were moving around the city of Ayodhya and they were worshipping the city of Ayodhya. Atula Prabha means it was a matchless city. Uchatala Dvajavatim Udyanamra Vanopetam Mahatim Salamekalam Udyana Amravana. This Ritu Rashana, again in Amra the Repa is there, and so Vana becomes Vana. Udyana, gardens, Amravana, mango gardens, Mahatim Salamekalam. Girdling this whole city were many gardens in Ayodhya. Durga Gambhira Parikam Durga Manyayir Durasadam Durga Gambhira Parikam. This Ayodhya was surrounded by very impenetrable fortresses. Nana desha nivasaischa vanigbhir upashobitam. There were many merchants from many countries who were coming and selling their wares in Ayodhya. Like how people from Bharata Desha go to many countries to sell their wares today. Many people from all around the world came to Ayodhya to sell their produce in Ayodhya. Vaji, Vajivaran, Sampurnam, Gobhirushtrai, Kharaistatha, Vaji, horses, elephants, filled with horses and elephants, go, cows, Ushtraihi, camels, donkeys, all these kinds of animals were there in Ayodhya. We still have those animals around. Samantarajasangaischa Balikarmabhiravrutam. Ayodhya was filled with many kings from small principal states who brought the collections, the produce to be produced to this great emperor at Ayodhya to be offered to them as the taxes and the collections. Nana Desha Nivasa, sorry. Kutagaraischa Sampurnam Indrasyeva Maravati. There were many palaces, there were many buildings in Ayodhya, and Ayodhya looked like Amaravati, which is the city of Indra. What is the city of Indra? When we say we go to Swargaloka, if we do Punya Karma, we will go to Swargaloka, and the place where people do good actions go to is the city of Indra after death. And that is a very beautiful city with beautiful lakes, rivers, mountains, buildings, roads. It is a proper city in the afterlife. That is Indra, that is Amaravati. And that is how Ayodhya looked like. I did not know I would be speaking about Ayodhya Mahatmya for so long. This chapter is small, but I am unable to complete it so soon. So Sampurna, like Amaravati, Chitram Ashtapadakaram Varanari Ganayutam Sarvaratna Samakirnam Vimana Griha Shobitam. Very beautiful paintings, very beautiful things to see around Ayodhya. Very beautiful men and women were moving around, and very beautiful Vimanas. Vimana can also be called planes. Vimana can also be called the temple towers. But Vimana basically in those days, Vaimanika Shastra was there. Vaimanika Shastra talks about building of aeroplanes, which is there. So many of these plane-like structures called Vimanas were there in Ayodhya. Dundubhi Bhir Mrudangaischa Veena Bhippanavaistatham Naditam Brishamathyartham Pruthuvyam Tamanuttamam. Dundubi, Mridanga, many cow horns, Mridanga with the skin instruments, and this horns and kettle drums and other types of instruments were being played on the streets of Ayodhya. Naditam Brisham Atyartham Prithuvim Tam Anuttamam Prithuvim. In this beautiful Ayodhya, which has got no parallel, when we can say of some beautiful city in this world, we all go there to visit that city because it is beautiful. In those days, Ayodhya was such a beautiful city towards which everybody was coming. And today, that has become a reality in front of our eyes. I've never done a satsang like this in my life, where usually the satsangs that we do, especially when it comes to Puranas, it is only talking the story. It is only telling the story. It has never been narrating something which is happening right in front of us. There's a very big distance of many years and many lifetimes of the difference between the experience and the truth that we speak in these Puranas and Itihasas when we narrate. But today, when we speak the truth and the experience have come one, and I feel very blessed that I am able to do this today. Ye cha banayarnam vidyanti viviktam aparaparam shabda vedyam cha vitatam laguhasta visharadaha. Ye cha banayarna vidyanti. There was no warrior in this Ayodhya who has fled from an encounter, and there was no warrior who was not skilled in archery. And with violence, when there is any disturbance in society, when there is disturbance caused to the people at large, especially people who practice goodness and who are living a very sattvic way of life, when such people are affected and when such people are disturbed, there is no equipment that will not fly in the face of those people who cause such disturbances. People will be afraid to commit crimes in Ayodhya. Shabdavedyam cha vitatam lagu hasta. So this city, there were many sharp-edged missiles and even the might of arms unaided by weaponry, just with the matter of sound. The sound is being used today also. In karate, when they talk about karate, they say when somebody comes to you, when you are accosted with a person who's coming towards you to fight, the first thing is not to fight in return, but to run away from the place. If you are not able to run away, the next best weapon is to give a loud shout. That is why we have these words like kyai, and we shout and punch. So in those days, with sound, they used to fight. With sound, with mantras, they used to send weapons. With mantra, it can be a blade of grass. If you chant a mantra and just send the blade of grass, it can work like a weapon. Such kind of weaponry knowledge was there in Ayodhya. Shabdavedyam simhavyagravaраhanam mattanam nadatam vane hantaro nishitai shastraihi balad bahubalairapi. So people fought with their shoulders also, people fought with their weapons also, and there were many wild animals also which were there as a matter of protection in this Ayodhya, which were surrounded with many moats, big wide moats filled with wild animals and wild creatures, because that is a very protective mechanism for the city. Tadrishanam sahasraistam abhipurnam maharataihi purima vasayamasa raja dasharatastatam. So King Dasharatha lived in such a city called Ayodhya. Tam agnimadbhir gunavadbhihi avrutam vijotamair veda shadanga paragaihi sahasradai satyaratair mahatmabhihi maharshikalpair rishibhischa kevalaihi. So in this city of Ayodhya, where there was so much wealth, so much of prosperity, so much of beauty, so much of divine order, so much of harmony, so much of love, and so much of care, in such a city, there were many rishis, there were many munis, they were well versed in the 6 aspects of Veda, in all the 4 Vedas, in the Vedangas. There's the Shiksha, Vyakarana, Kalpa, Nirukta, Jyotisha. What am I missing? Shiksha, Vyakarana, Kalpa, Nirukta, Jyotisha, Chandas. And all these 6 aspects in the Upanishads and the Puranas and the Itihasas, and they used to spend their time on the banks of the Sarayu after they finish all their Nitya Anushtana, discussing on these topics and spending their time very beautifully. Such is the beautiful city of Ayodhya. Bole Shri Syavar Ramachandra ki jai. Bole Shri Ayodhya Dham ki jai. I conclude this special talk with the words from our Puja Guruji. He's talking to children. There's a very beautiful magazine called Bal Vihar. Other than that, our magazines of Chinmaya Mission, Chinmaya Udghosh for youth, Tapovan Prasad, which is a magazine for the elders and adults on Vedanta, and the children's magazine called Balvikar. Everything contains something or the other about Ayodhya and Rama, in which there is a talk which is reproduced here between children and Pujya Guruji, Swami Tejomayananda ji. Swamiji says, what is a happy city? What is Ayodhya, which is called Mokshada Nagari? What is this Moksha Nagari? What is the city that gives us joy? Take the Lord's name just to see in how many ways one is capable of giving. Life is about giving. Life is about receiving. We want, but we have to give and give and give. Ayodhya is a city where this in Kambaramayana, very beautiful description of Ayodhya is there, where everybody is only a giver. There are no beggars in Ayodhya. There are no people to receive in Ayodhya because everybody was giving. Take the Lord's name, give seva in any form, but some are worried about what will be left for them if they give. Keep on giving what you love. It won't lessen because Bhagwan keeps filling. We give and Bhagwan gives. Mukh mein ho Ram naam, Ram seva haath mein. In your tongue, may there be the name of Ram. In your hands, may there be the seva of Ram. Mouth is for uttering the Lord's name and hand is for serving. This will make you happy and the receiver too. This is called Moksha Nagari. How many Moksha Nagaris are there? There are 7 Moksha Nagaris. No, there is just one Moksha Nagari. Not even the Ayodhya that we are seeing there. That Moksha Nagari is in my heart. It is in your heart. Any number might be told to you, but in the end, any number of Moksha Nagaris, there may be 7, there may be 12, there may be 108 Divya Deshas or Tirtha Kshetras, this Shakti Pitas, 54 Shakti Pitas, 11 Dwadasha Jyotirlinga, 12 Jyotirlingas. Many names may be given to these places. But what are all these places? What are all these holy places? These holy places are places which spark joy in us all the time. Wherever you turn around. When I went to Kedarnath, I was camping at near the Gaurikund area. Mandakini river is flowing as a big waterfall. Anywhere, in any hotel, in any room, in any ashram you stay there, everywhere you turn around, you can just hear nothing else but the river Mandakini. In the same way, Mokshapuris are cities where anywhere you turn around, you will hear the name of Bhagavan. You will hear the name of Rama. You will hear the name of Krishna. You will hear the name of Subramanya. You will hear the name of Shiva. You will hear the name of Kartikeya. You will hear the name of Ganesha. You will hear the names of Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati. You will hear the names of all the gods and great people who lived and trod on this earth. That is called a Mokshapuri, Moksha Nagari. What is there? Are there 7? There is only one Mokshapuri. What is that Mokshapuri? It is in your own heart. Manumandir me, Hridaya Mandir. Inside my heart, there is a mandir, and that is called Hridayapuri or Mokshapuri. And from this Vedapuri, which is Puducherry, where this Chinmaya Surya Mandir is situated in Chinmaya Mission, Puducherry's ashram, I feel very blessed to get this lovely opportunity with the grace and blessings of Bhagavan Sri Rama, of the Guru Parampara, of Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji, Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomayananda ji, Pujya Swami Swarupananda ji. I am so blessed, I feel so blessed that I got this opportunity to speak on this Ayodhya Mahima today. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। बोलो जय श्री राम। बोलो जय अयोध्या धाम। हरि ओम तत्सत।